Guys, Final Fantasy 14 has had a weird relationship with GameTrailers.com. One Mr. Michael Damiani was rightfully seen as the Final Fantasy 14 guy. He reviewed both 1.0 and A Realm Reborn, and then was consumed by it.
One could say he's
bowed
it.
What?
He's bowed it.
He's bowed it.
He's bowed it.
He's bowed it?
Yeah. Boy, this
is getting weird.
About it.
Getting weird.
All right.
Yeah. But, Michael Damiani doesn't work at GameTrailers anymore, so it's up to us.
They fired him.
Scrubs to cover 14, and we are not at the point to cover Heavensward, which is really sad.
Not for lack of trying.
No, absolutely. I'd always wanted to really get into 14, but I was like, man, MMOs, it turns out they take a lot of time. But now I'm trying to play Heavensward, trying to cover it. Just hit 30 on my thaumaturge.
Hey.
And where are you guys at? What characters do you have?
I have a level 21 archer, a level 4 thaumaturge, and a level 1 rogue. Kind of diversifying.
You're trying out some things.
How do you
feel about
also
rogue?
Spending a lot of time. I haven't even given it a shot yet, really. I just signed up. So it's really. But I've also been spending a lot of time grinding King Elamud III to try to get the 2 triple triad cards out of him. Has not been going well. I mean, I'm winning a lot. I've got a lot of MGP, but I'm just not getting those cards. It's just not dropping them. RNG not.
I haven't played a single match of Triple Triad.
Triple Triad's fun.
I love Triple
You should
Triad.
get Triple Triad deck. You both should. You can fight each other in it.
Yeah,
it's a fun game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hold on. We talking about my relationship real quick. So when A Realm Reborn came out, I played it, got to the level cap with Dragoon, stopped cold turkey for like a year and a half. Came back recently for Heavensward. I'm like, all right, Heavensward, here we go. Let's do it.
Right.
Just kidding. You have to do all the story quests added in through patches.
Yeah, and we're saying, man, it's really taking us a long time to get to the new expansion stuff, but that's something that I think from a distance I've really respected about Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, me too.
I've been complaining, and rightfully so, that between expansions, WoW just seems really dry and boring. I mean, you get to the level cap and it's like, man, there's not much to do, especially if you're not that into PvP. And 14 has just been knocking out of the park. They've not only added a job in a patch, Rogue, which we discussed earlier, but they've been adding
Ninja, right?
These huge dungeons, these huge raids, all of this stuff to do. And then, even though we're not in it, Heavensward is absolutely massive.
Yeah, huge.
And that's...
When's that review coming out?
Never.
No, it's coming. I think...
It's not coming. Let's just not get
No, I think 2 weeks is...
2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, Ben. Okay.
Right in that relevance window.
No, I think that's the thing is people are like, oh, you got to get up a review right away. And I think for an MMO, you really don't
MMOs have staying power, sure.
And plus, I think the early reviews for MMOs are really, really funny. Like, if you read the first reviews, they're really not relevant even a week or two later.
Yeah.
So I think...
Because all the new things haven't been figured out yet.
Yeah, I think taking a more comprehensive approach and really talking about every aspect has value to it.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't really like MMOs. I used to play EVE Online for a little while when I was in college because I could do my homework while flying between planets.
That's hardcore, man.
Yeah, that's super gnarly.
Well, it's like another job, and then I jump back in because I want to be in space, But then you jump in and you're like, this is literally just another job. I don't have time for this. Mm-hmm. This game, it's casual enough, not casual in the mean way that everyone uses it, just it doesn't stress me out. It's a delightful game. Mm-hmm. It's got really jolly vibes.
Yeah.
And I just want to hang out.
The community.
Be there. It takes me back to playing Tactics or 7 or 8 with my friends back in middle school or high school or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's just I get that feeling from it.
This was something 11 did as well. Not as many people played that game, but Final Fantasy 14 does a great job of evoking that Final Fantasy feeling in an MMO. Mm-hmm. It really what's most impressive. I feel like I matter. Yeah, exactly. And they make you feel that way because what's most impressive about 14 is it cares about its world. It cares about it establishing that story. In World of Warcraft, the designers always say, if you want to read the lore and you want to do that stuff, you can, but we also have to make it so that people that just want to skip that stuff can and move on. But I don't feel like that's how they designed 14. They expect you to kind of get engrossed in it.
Well, every guild before you join tells you the history of the guild. Even the Rogues Guild, he was like, He's like, I could jaw your ear off talking about the history or whatever, and then he does anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's really funny. Like, everything the writing in it is just so, like, happy, kind of.
It is. It's
even
very
when
happy.
things are serious, you're kind of just like, yeah, I'm just having a good time, you know? I'm watching Bahamut or whatever, like, destroy this dirigible. It's cool.
Yeah, and that sense of humor, I think, goes beyond the very explicit, like, story quest. The Cactuars, for example.
Yeah.
The way they animate, the way they just kind of, like, skip over.
Dude, you got to get to the golden saucer. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I believe it.
There's one in a top hat with a monocle that just, like, spins and wanders around, and it says level question mark, and you don't know why he's there. It's so funny.
You're done once you get there. You're done, Ben.
It's so funny.
Once you see that triple triad table.
I think that's why I haven't gone there. It's like, wow, it's already tough enough, like, getting to level cap and getting all this stuff. I don't need distractions along the way. But I think one of the things that annoys me a little bit with 14 is a lot of that stuff is really well done, but sometimes I feel like it belabors the point a little bit too much, like, because it's an MMO. Like, it's so close to being a single-player RPG in some ways, where it's like, okay, you're telling this really in-depth story, but it's like, you get those quests, right, where you're like, go talk to this person. So you teleport over there, you walk over to the person, and they're like, here's the guy you really want to talk to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you actually told me nothing.
He's literally standing 10 feet behind me.
Yes.
Why did they add this step into this quest?
Yeah.
This character doesn't need to be here at all.
Yeah, that's happened
funny.
multiple times to me where it's like, you're telling me to go talk to this person when they're right behind you.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
And I think the only other thing that
I'm
that
literally
maybe I'll feel
playing it by
differently
myself,
with.
though.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, I use the duty finder, but that's about it. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You actually bring up a good point. Is you and I have, like, let's party up together.
Well,
but
you're way above me, so I can't.
We're all pretty far apart, I would say, level ways. Yeah.
But even if we were to party up with each other, I'm not sure how useful it would be. It's like, okay, you're kind of doing your own thing, doing these story quests. I'm doing these story quests. You're doing those story quests.
Yeah.
It's like we have enough to do on our own that there really isn't any need.
I mean, I'd love to like, if we were all at the same like level and we all got to Heavensward or whatever, going through the whole thing as a party would be
cool.
so rad.
Yeah.
It'd be super cool.
I mean, later on you'll eventually run out of quests to do, then you start doing dungeons together and earning loot. That's kind of where it all comes from.
I have a random tangent. I don't know if it's happened to you guys, but sometimes in the dungeons, before, like, the final boss or whatever, they'll have that lengthy cutscene, which I really enjoy watching.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like the rest of my party skips it. And the way the dungeons work is they're kind of sectioned off into areas. And once somebody in the party triggers an area, it closes in like 15 seconds. So I've had the instance where the cutscene will play out, and then I'll watch it, and I'll get through the cutscene, and suddenly I can't fight the final boss with my group.
They don't wait for you?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No,
if someone's watched the cutscene, I always let them watch it.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through something the first time. You should let them watch it.
Yeah.
It was just
There have been
just sitting there watching them do this.
You're like, oh,
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
There have been some funny moments like that where because I'm playing on the PS4, so like it takes a second longer to do a lot of stuff. Like getting through the menus is a little longer, slower. Like voting on loot at the end. Like there have been times where I was like trying to vote on loot, and then everyone else has already left the dungeon by the time I finish. Like at the final boss, stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I accidentally screwed up in a fight, and then one of the guys just did like tears, and I was like, I'm sorry.
You actually bring up two things. You're playing exclusively on console.
No, I'm playing it. I have it on my work computer and my Mac too.
Okay, sorry, misspoke. Mostly on console.
Yeah, I prefer it on my PS4.
It controls very, very well. Like
Yeah.
when I'm doing combat and stuff, I don't have any issues whatsoever. I think it controls really great. The only thing is when you have those little instances, it's just a little bit more awkward doing like the little rolls and things like that.
Do you use a controller on the PC or just
No, I
a
use a
keyboard?
keyboard.
Because Damiani, I think he plays on PC, but he uses a controller.
Yeah, I think
and it's funny watching him play. He's like a wizard, like just pressing so many buttons at once. It's
have
intense.
you tried it on the controller at all?
Yeah,
it's
I've tried
crazy.
a lot
Yeah,
of the
you got it.
controllers,
You have to like, you do like button combinations and like it's cool. It works. It makes sense in a weird way.
But even when he's like, you know how it has its own controller specific menu?
Yeah.
How you slide through the tabs and stuff, how quickly he can do that is very funny.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the community. I've run into some bad apples like you do in any online game, but for the most part, I think Final Fantasy XIV has a really, really good community that doesn't need a lot of policing.
No one's ever said anything mean to me.
Yeah, when I do dungeons, like people are happy. They say thank you. They're supportive. If you're messing up,
you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday because I'm at a quest right now where it shows an NPC party of adventurers, and one of them has made a mistake, and the other two are like griefing them and pissed, and they both quit the party, and she's like really sad, you know. And then later on, you run into that character again, and she's just like, "I just wanted to meet you. I've heard really great things, you know." Yeah. And I'm just like, "Damn, that's so hard." It's like I feel bad for this person, and like, I think that the vibes of the game, like how jolly the game is, and the fact that they put things in there like that, where you see that it affects people, actually, like it works. It makes you realize, like, oh, if I say things like that, it hurts people. You know?
Yeah.
The game, like the world of the game is like a positive, kind world, and I think that translates even subconsciously down to the player base.
Yeah, because I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and I'm sure once I get to the end game it will feel differently, but as you're going through the story, it's not really about getting loot or being the best. It's about doing the story and you know, learning your character slowly over time.
Yeah.
Because like as you do story quests, you easily get the gear that you need. Like you don't really have to think about it.
Yeah,
to the point where I'm a little confused on how loot drops work, because every dungeon I've done, I've passed on the early stuff that isn't for my class.
Yeah.
But the last thing is always like an all classes armor thing, and I've gotten every single one of them. And I don't know if like other people are getting them too, or if they're passing. I don't know. It was weird. Because I have like a matching set of like this forest striker gear or whatever, and I look awesome.
Yeah, for a lot of people, they're just leveling other jobs, like especially Heavensward jobs.
The Damianis.
The Damianis of the world, yeah. So it's like they really don't need those things. They just kind of are doing
Pass,
it.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, rad!
Yeah.
New boots, okay.
I also like how, you know, early on you fight Ifrit, for example. And that's like a really crazy thing where you're fighting like this demon lord of the Inferno. And normally those kind of fights I feel like are saved for in-game stuff.
Yeah.
Like in MMOs I feel like you rarely get to have moments that feel as cool as that. And so I appreciate that because you do that a lot throughout the story.
That sounds cool. We should
really
probably.
They definitely throw in some cool boss fights.
We've been talking for a while. We're just buds.
We like 14. We're talking about
really like 14.
Yeah.
Having a blast.
I think it was a good conversation. I think you guys had good perspectives. I know we're not like this. We don't know everything about Final Fantasy 14, but we're learning. We're picking it up.
It's good vibes.
It's part of the journey. Learning it.
Part of the journey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have more to say later on when that review comes up.
One day.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.